Good morning, fellows.
Good morning.
The person who was sitting on my left is past President Raj Naidu, and I think you do. He's a traveller, dentist, raconteur, and he's talking to us today. I'm not saying anything.
I'm hoping that I can share a little bit of the enthusiasm and the adventure that we had, myself and my wife Pratibha, back in the end of January, where for the right or the wrong reasons we attempted to do something you're going to say. That is precisely where, without knowing what we were going into, we embarked.
Thanks.
In the north of India, as you go directly north, you come to the state of Kashmir, which on the one side is saddled with Pakistan on the west and Tibet on the east of that. And the eastern region of this state is the state of Ladakh, within which is a small district called Zanskar, which saw its first European intrusion, if I can call it, back in 1980s. Until then it was completely cut off, not just from European or Western tourists and travelers, including the Indian people, because the only people who ever went in there were the army to man the borders with Pakistan and China. And this is where our trip began, and it goes across the globe to the river there. And the kingdom of Ladakh, it was a kingdom, as is until the Republic of India was established in 1952, and the capital is Leh, L-E-H, it's about 11,500 feet. The interesting feature here is, if you can imagine, if you fly directly north, can you tell me at the back, because I've got my back to If you go directly north in India, you come across the chain like a necklace, the chain of the Himalayan mountains, which straddle about 1,500 miles from the east to the west of the northern borders of India and parts of Pakistan. You have to cross over these mountains into the other side, where there are smaller ranges of the range of Ladakh and the range of Zanskar, and it is in that region that we then descend, and you naturally have to fly out there. The first view you get of the mountainous terrain that is in front of you is in the early morning flight as the sun catches the peaks below you. And you fly a little bit further, and very politely the stewards came and said, "Sir, now you are in the military zone. Please do not take any photographs, otherwise all of us will be in big trouble." All permissions, licenses for trekking,
and then it works like a step.
Did you see any animals there at all?
no live animals, a lot of footprints.
No birds?
No, the leopard, there are the footprints of the leopard, that's all, but you cannot, I mean, you have to live there. There are actually trips that go from here. We met a British tourist group. Their only purpose was to go from mountain to mountain in the hope of seeing a snow leopard. And they were prepared to come back not having seen one. They said they didn't see it.
Did you go from A to B or A to B and back again?
A to B and back again.
How far was that?
I don't know the miles, but we used to walk about 6 hours a day, 7 hours a day.
Where do you sleep of an evening?
Two-man tents, that's all.
Cold.
Yeah,
I thought the
but you see,
porters
the
carried
porters
him.
used to go around the area and collect driftwood. And they'd light a fire, which would last for about a couple of hours. But they would light it in their caves where they slept. So we'd just go and join them for a little while, and that's about the only warmth we had. And then you're back in bed.
It took you how many days to walk in?
5 days to go, 5 days to get out.
Raj, what sort of sanitary arrangements did you have?
No, actually, very right. But it's pretty good. You know, in fact, throughout these treks, whether you do it in Africa or you do it in Nepal or anywhere else in any other bush country, you dig a hole about a foot deep or so.
In the
Put a
snow.
couple, no, there's land there. See?
Oh.
There's rock. If you look around,
Yeah.
there is dry land,
Yeah.
not necessarily just snow everywhere. And you put a couple of stones, so that makes it a platform. But you've got to be fit enough to be able to squat and try it. And you tend to, so the only danger is you don't lose your balance at top of it. So what do you do? The wooden staff that they stick in the ground,
Hold on
try a
to it.
little sheet around it, for bit of privacy. Because the leg.
2 weeks ago,
Stick it-
the toilet,
you hold on to that so you don't fall. You've got to practice how to tidy yourself up after that. That's interesting. No, I will make a reason for. How long cold do you mean? At the point when you are actually doing your toilet there, it doesn't feel that cold. People think, oh, you've got to get your pants down, you'll be freezing to death. It doesn't happen that way. Where the body is, the physiology is different. Doctor, you should try it in cold, minus 25. Try it. So it's not all that bad. People think, oh God, how can you do it? Nature has its way of adapting. And it's quite easy. The only thing is, because there was a lady with us, so they put a little sheet, that's all.
Any more questions? Well, I read a book a couple of weeks ago called I'm Worried About Kevin. I'm worried about Raj, really, because when he was 50 he went to Kilimanjaro.
Oh, really? Thank you.
This is 60 ice on the river, ice river. What's he going to do next?
Mars.
No. I'm going to do cruising.
Basil.
I was going to say, try and go to
People
Basil. That's more
the
dangerous.
pictures spoke volumes, the beautiful strata and just seeing the danger that you were in. I mean, this was no stroll in the park. The one particular shot that made me shiver just looking at it. It looked like sheer ice, and there's the fast flowing river, and you have about 3-4 feet to shuffle along.
No, that's true.
And you could have been in the river, and that looked tad dangerous. I think it was lovely. I mean, you were worried about what you were going to say. He said, I speak off the cuff. I don't know what I'm going to say. And I thought what he said was fantastic.
Yeah. Well done.
One thing is definite that we are very pleased to see you back.
Well, thank you, sir. So my wife, my children, actually, it's funny. I have the support of my family. It's fantastic. You've seen my girls and my son. They don't send us off with fears in their mind, because if they were fearful of what we were doing, I don't think we would have been able to do this. Such an event has occurred to another family who want to do things like this, but their children have said, no, you can't, it's too dangerous, you might die. But my family has allowed us to do it.
They're in the world.
I asked my son, I said, you want to do it? So Dad, I'll do it, but not you anymore. Thank you very much indeed.
Well done, Raj.
Thank you, fellas. I'm sorry we're finishing in the dark, but I don't know where the light switches are for the spotlight. So.